Stan. Are you in good hands?
New from
And let's take a look at our UPS conference update. And you look at the conference breakdown out of the Big Ten in the last 5 years. This is something we discussed yesterday. Only 3 bids a year ago. Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Illinois.
And you know what's interesting? Wisconsin winning this Big Ten championship last year. Remember where they were seeded, Jim? They were a 6.
Yep. Off the win. Off the tournament win.
Yep.
I think we're looking at 5 here today. What do you think?
Well, you know, to a league like the Big Ten, only to have 3 and then have their postseason conference champion get a 6th seed really didn't speak very highly of the league last year. I think they'll do better this time.
Obviously, these 2 teams on the floor are in, along with Michigan State, Minnesota, and you would think maybe Iowa. Right? We both agree in. That would be 5. Indiana hoping.
No, I don't think Indiana's. I think they had an opportunity in this tournament to earn their way there, and they didn't get it done.
2 seconds on the shot clock.
Oh, is that a foul from behind? Sure was.
Yeah, on Flowers, with 1 on the clock, 1 on the shot clock.
Jim, how often have we seen that? Now, offensive players see that clock. Defensive players have their back turned so they don't see it, but they have to have a feel, and they have to let that clock be one of their helpers. Tonight on 60 Minutes, George Lucas has finished his last Star Wars and gives a sneak preview. That's coming up tonight on 60 Minutes. Of course, has his back turned to the shot clock. You should look at the shot clock at the other end of the floor. But I think, you know, when you're used to playing defense and you're out there on the floor, you have a feel. It's just an instinctive feel, and you know you don't want to commit a foul as that thing is getting down under 3 seconds.
As pure a shot as we've seen from Williams. How does he step to the line and miss a pair of free throws? But he just did. Nixon on the blocks. Goes right up with it. Tipped out to Powell.
Seems like Illinois has gotten every loose ball bounce too today.
Well, this one goes to Flowers. Wisconsin rapidly to the front court. Morley double down. Yep.
Double teamed on the catch. No place to go.
Timeout called away from the ball by Flowers.
That was a pretty good move by Flowers. Normally you see it's the man that's in trouble, but Flowers recognized, covered for his teammate.
Let's take a look at the Big Ten Conference's Pontiac game-changing performance of the year. It was last Sunday. Undefeated Illinois at Ohio State. And Matt Sylvester of Ohio State nails the 3 with 5.1 seconds remaining, giving the Buckeyes the lead. Powell misfires at the end, the desperation heave, and Pontiac donates $5,000 to Ohio State's General Scholarship Fund. Tucker working down low, and he's pushed from behind by Augustine.
And you know, Tucker is saying, hey, this has been going on all day. How come that's the first time I've got the call?
You start looking at this Illinois team that you have to think, again, go ahead, Billy.
Jim, here, the lineup that's on the floor right now, and I realize it's getting a little bit late, just down 12. This is the lineup that I thought would be most effective. Tucker, Wilkinson, and Morley on the floor. I thought this lineup could score.
Great defensive pressure applied by Illinois. It's Tucker. Nowhere to go. Turnaround, too strong.
Nice job by Morley. It hits underneath the backboard.
So it'll be Illinois ball. I thought Morley tipped it
I
underneath.
think you're right, Jim. I think we had a pretty good angle on that. I think Morley touched it last.
So it'll be instead Wisconsin inbounding underneath.
With a full 35. Let's see how this lineup operates. 2 guards, 3 big guys. I don't know why.
It looks like stopped action, so they could go and explain to Bruce Weber.
No, I don't see that at all. The ball hit the rim, so therefore, if it went out of bounds and Wisconsin got it, as the referee saw, you'd have a new 35.
I think Coach Weber felt there shouldn't be a new 35.
Well, you know what he also thinks? He likes playing in this gym. They've got 13 straight. There's no question that Morley touched it.
Ball went the other way. You talk about Coach Weber in this gym. 5 years the head coach was Bruce at Southern Illinois, and he was in this arena with the Southern Illinois Salukis in the tournament back in 2002, and they pulled off a couple of upsets to make it to the Sweet 16. They beat Texas Tech and Georgia here. Here you see the tip. Looked like it touched Morley last.
Well, in either case, the officials are looking at it. Now, I don't know if they're looking at it because you get a timing situation here, Jim. If it was not tipped, I mean, here's what I don't understand. They have to say that Morley touched it, or they wouldn't have given Wisconsin the ball. The ball hits the rim without question. So you got a new 35. He never had possession, but I think that Morley certainly is the last guy to touch it going out of bounds. I thought it should have been Illinois' ball going the other way with 35 seconds in their favor. You can't go ahead and worry about the shot clock in this situation because they awarded the ball to Wisconsin.
They got it at 25 on the shot clock. The crowd unsure of what's happening here, just knows it's unhappy.
Morley down inside with Williams. Smaller player, can he score over it?
Left-handed, yes.
This is the lineup that I think has one chance to get Wisconsin back in the game, and they're going to have to show they can in the next 3 minutes. Who is the odd man? It's going to be Tucker's going to be the odd man having to play a guard defensively.
Williams, no. And nice board again by Michael Flowers.
Flowers having a pretty solid game. And now, if you're Chambliss, what you want to do is forget about outside play. Get the ball to Tucker. Bad ball handling.
Arrow belongs to Wisconsin. Tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, again, George Lucas with a preview of the latest and last Star Wars. And then it's Cold Case, followed by Madeline Stowe and Bruce Greenwood in Saving Millie. Dee Brown back on the floor.
Now, Hansen, they keep the big three out there, and they bring in a new set of guards to Wisconsin. And now Brown comes into the ball game. That means Tucker's probably going to have to guard Williams, because he won't be quick enough to stay on Brown or Head.
Morley, short this time. Head clears quickly.
Can Brown start hitting some jump shots?
How about Luther Head? Yes.
See, here's the problem. You go to the three big guys to try to go ahead and get some offense, but now you have the tough matchup getting back down court defensively. And if Brown or Head start making those three-point shots, my theory is going to have to win that.
That increases the lead with that jumper to the largest of the game, 13. Wilkinson will head to the line.
And there was Augustine again, helping out, making Wilkinson have to change what would have been an easy layup to a hard shot.
As a #1 seed, Illinois twice before. 1989, lost in Seattle to Michigan on the Saturday. And then you saw just a couple of years ago also the #1. Will be for certain the #1 seed when the brackets are revealed in a little more than an hour from now here on CBS.
Jim, everybody's been talking about when Illinois was on that run about going undefeated. They go back to 76 for Indiana. You got to go back a long way to find a team that won a national championship with one loss, too. You've got to go all the way back to 1974. NC State had one loss that year. The team that beat them is the team that they beat in the semifinals, UCLA. So, you know, you go back beyond the undefeated reach as to when a team with just one loss made it.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
I think somewhere along the line there would have been someone might have been able to do that. A couple of years ago, it looked like Duke might be able to do it in '99 before UConn beat them in the final. The first championship for Calhoun and company. Powell, three-point try, top of the key, yes.
Powell has been focused this entire ball game. We mentioned he made all tournament.
2 years ago right here.
When Illinois won right here, so having a solid game today. And now the fans can sense it. Boy, how about the job Williams is doing on Tucker?
Wilkinson outside, way off.
That ball was kicked.
But a foul first. Foul called on Head.
Head tried to go ahead and get in there, and he might have got a little piece of Tucker.
With a timeout on the floor. Illinois shooting 63% in this half to open it up to 14.
CBS Sports coverage of the Big Ten Conference Tournament is sponsored by the U.S. Postal Service. Just about anything you can do at the post office, you can do at USPS.com. Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR. Pick Enterprise, we'll pick you up. And by the Hartford Mutual Funds, official corporate partner of the NCAA.
Well, the heart is pounding for these teams that'll make their first appearance in the NCAA field, including Oakland at 12-18, Delaware State, Alabama A&M, Southeast Louisiana. Congratulations to all four. Oakland, by the way, on the eve of Thanksgiving, played Illinois this year, and Illinois beat them by 35. You have to figure Oakland will be in that play-in game, not play-in, that first-round game, I guess is what they call it now, Tuesday.
Yep. What I saw today, I think it's like 19 teams have gotten into the NCAA tournament since this process started. The new process started with losing records.
Oakland upsetting Oral Roberts in their tournament final. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock here. Butch will take it from the outside, and the freshman unable to hit it.
I tell you, the score right now, 41-27, and it looks without question Illinois is in total control of this ball game. And I've got to credit, Jim, I realize Wisconsin hasn't shot the ball well, but I've got to credit just great defense today. Illinois has really shut them down. There have not been a lot of good looks except very early in the ball game. They're shooting 24%. Sometimes when you're shooting 24, you're handling the ball poorly, taking bad shots. But in this case, Illinois is just taking away the good looks that Wisconsin normally gets.
Just making them work for everything at the offensive end.
And defense is always more consistent when you're playing hard than his outside shooting.
Foul before the shot called on Tucker. And don't miss a minute of March Madness. Access live video to all games outside of your viewing area, plus live tournament press conferences, highlights, and more. Sign up for NCAA March Madness on demand only at ncaasports.com or CSTV.com. That was actually called on Butch, that last foul.
Oh, good cut.
Howell missed at the end, and Morley muscles for the rebound.
And you know, if you're Wisconsin, Illinois this year has to look like Michigan State looked to them. You know, in the last 13 games, they had 3 losses that year that they went to the Final Four in 2000. And all 3 of those were to Michigan State in almost exact replicas each game.
I think we were there for most of them.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
I'll never forget the one in Indianapolis. 53-41 win by the Spartans, and that shot off the mark by Taylor. Brown has the numbers.
4-on-1.
Over to Luther Head.
Oh, nice shot by Hansen.
Yeah, Hansen
not the 4-on-1.
He just put the clamps on that break.
And Brown has still not been a factor offensively. He's played solid defense.
Just took his mouthpiece out and just threw it down on the court. He's so frustrated right now. Has not had a good tournament.
No, he really has not. He is not. He didn't shoot the ball well. His hustle is there, but he's not been very productive offensively.
Tucker surprisingly quiet today. And it's Augustine, they say, over the shoulder. That's a big reason why it's been tough for Tucker. Augustine's met him so many times in the paint, been there to defend. 1 out of 9 is all to this point for Orlando Tucker. It's the 4th foul on Augustine, who will head to the bench.
Well, Tucker yesterday had the great game, 7 for 12, the 20 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. and the game-winning shot. But you're right, Augustine has really played some outstanding defense on him today. And here's the other guy that's played pretty good defense on him, at Williams, giving up some size. Look out.
Up ahead, Luther Head.
There's speed for you. This game is history, Jim. And just as Wisconsin took it out of Illinois last year, basically the same players that Illinois has on the floor, they have reversed it here today at the Illini. Look at this. They can't even find a place to pass.
Wilkinson and Ingram thought he had a clean play on it. Instead, a foul call. Brown to Head.
How about Brown a head-to-head? Terrific play. He just came out of there. You know what's interesting? If Head hadn't had that kind of a clean break, I thought Brown was ready to take that thing 90 feet. He is so fast. We talked yesterday about, is it 1 or 2 steps that get him at full speed?
I think it's 1. Back in is Carter for the Illini, and Williams will sit.
Jimmy, you mentioned about Wilkinson being the winningest player at Wisconsin. I think what else is interesting, you know, he redshirted the first year. He's the only active player with 1,400 points, 700 rebounds, 200 assists, 150 steals, and 100 blocks. That's a pretty good all-around player, you know, that gives you solid defense, never causes a problem, comes to work every day. Help a lot of people win, that fella can.
Turnover forced. Wilkinson has. He's done so many things through his career, and it's going to continue in the NCAAs next week. 6 points in this game for the all Big Tenner, but all of them have come from the free throw line.
Yep, you've got Tucker having problems getting shots. Wilkinson hadn't had a field goal. That's just good defense.
Chambliss way off on a 3. Tucker has the position, and he gets the putback.
Almost Tucker's Lorenzo Charles imitation there.
Luther Head. And it's Illinois ball. Last touch by the Badgers. 43-31 inside 8 minutes. Well, you look at Wisconsin, 24% from the field in this half. It wasn't much better in the first half. Jim Nantz with Billy Packer.
Right on that 24, Jim.
Yep.
It hasn't changed. And again, I don't think it's as much Wisconsin as it is just outstanding defense by Illinois.
Billy, how about for Illinois? You look at this team, lost a week ago. Their play here in Chicago, I mean, any lingering effects from the loss to the Buckeyes? Are they going to be going into the tournament full throttle, do you feel? What do you think?
Oh, I think so. And I think that people will find them hard to play against, because very seldom do you play against 3 guards that can operate so well as this team does. And I think that people will maybe underrate Howe and Augustine in terms of how effective they are defensively. Now, I think this Illinois team's for real. And they could have some problems with some clubs that really have some power down inside. But with that ability to shoot, and of course, you know, everybody talking about Wake Forest maybe being a #1 seed. You remember what they did to Wake Forest.
They beat Wake Forest when Wake was ranked #1 back on December 1st. Had Luther Head 3. Luther might be making a case for tournament MVP. You know, one thing about Illinois that is so rare, you look at this team. First, take a look at Chambliss on the drive.
Good, strong rebound. This is a veteran club, too. You know, these guys have been around.
And they don't have Augustine on the floor right now, but when you look at their starting 5, they have started every game this season. Ingram. Long on the 3. Powell continues to work aggressively inside, and it's going to Wisconsin. Now maybe an overrule.
And Jim, you just saw Ingram take a shot. The other thing that I think may be a little underrated is what they've been able to get, not game in, game out from the same people, but I think that Ingram does a fine job coming off the bench. You know that Smith has been actually been a starter for them in years past. Doesn't make mistakes. Can eat up some fouls and give them some minutes.
Called on Wilkinson, but how about you just think the way a season unfolds? It's not that often that you see a team with the same lineup, the same starting lineup every single game. That's been the case with Illinois, with all 5 starters yesterday in double figures. Augustine also an MVP candidate here at this tournament.
Well, the other thing that it tells you is that they have been healthy. You know, one of the things that's going to be interesting about this committee, with a lot of teams this year affected by injuries, it'll be interesting to see what credits they gave for some losses maybe at the times that they didn't have a full squad. But this team has been healthy all year long.
When you say not healthy all season long, Georgia Tech comes to mind. Georgia Tech losing in the final and a tight one today. Duke winning that tournament again. Underneath and the dunk by Tucker.
Georgia Tech, Jim, a team that just 2 weeks ago you could have put really on the bubble if you didn't factor in any injury situation.
Ingram lost control for a moment. Put back Powell.
Powell wanting a call, not there. You might as well keep right on playing. You know, it is amazing if Wisconsin had gotten anything going at all offensively today. They could be in this ball game. Here's a 3.
Tucker with the 3 brings it to 10.
I mean, they're down 10. You could get under double figures here. And have had no offense.
Tucker scoreless in that first half, has 9 here in the second stanza.
Well, Washington, Wisconsin right now 3 away from their point-winning total of their 1 national championship. They got 39 that day in a 39-34 win over Washington State. Of course, it wasn't a few years ago.
You're going back, what, 64 years.
So if they can get 3 more, they can equal that total.
Taylor.
There it is.
Well, the other thing is, maybe it's not over. Down to 7.
We declared this over.
No, we.
I did. I'm sorry. You're right.
Okay. 8-0 run. After word got back to the bench that it was over. It's Williams.
Wow.
And a reach-in call against Illinois.
I always have liked cheese, Jim, if I have to eat some.
Cheese on your crow. That's the 7th foul, so a 1-on-1 coming up. You look at the Big 12 Conference, and, well, we projected 6 teams, including Iowa State, to make it to the field.
Terrific run at the end of the year by Iowa State. Remember that game going in there and beating Kansas on their home floor. Pretty impressive.
Cameron Taylor at the line. Absolute dead ringer for Chris Rock.
This is amazing when you look at this score. 46-40, Wisconsin basketball.
This could get very interesting here, Mr. Packer.
Well, you've got Tucker and Wilkinson and Morley on the floor. They've gone with the 3 bigs and the 2 small, and it's been effective.
The lead had been 16, and it's down to 5.
Now, can Brown, who has been a guy that's been kind of magic in games that got like this year, can he get something going? Nice job by Taylor.
Head driving. Beautiful move.
Most valuable player in the Big Ten tournament right there, Jim. He has been the man for this team all 3 games.
Wilkinson outside, and he answers right back. His first shot from the floor.
Much more difficult team for Illinois to play against with these 3 big players now on the floor together.
Nick Smith back in for Illinois. Baron Williams. Morley tap. Back out to Head.
Boy, Williams just knocked it loose.
all the way over to Williams. And a flat-footed rebound is all he takes for Taylor. Wisconsin looks to trim some more. Badger ball with a break in the action. 48-43. Things got interesting here in Chicago for the Big Ten Tournament Championship. The countdown to March Madness continues. 50 minutes until our exclusive live announcement. Illinois, the lead is now 5. How about the comeback? What has been the trigger point for them?
I really think it's been the fact that they've gone to the lineup with the 3 bigs. Morley and Tucker and Wilkinson has caused a problem for the matchup that Illinois has out there. Illinois still playing, obviously, with their regular starting lineup. Jim, the real key in this ball game, too, is the fact that Brown is 0 for 6. We know last year, remember, he slumped, and then he had shot over 45% from 3 those last 11 games. Look at Tucker go in there.
Yeah, Tucker came to the ball, but missed on the reverse layup. Tough shot.
Brown pulls up, didn't look for the shot, and probably wise. But he has come up with some big shots, even in games where he's not really up to par.
Here he goes.
1. Nope.
0 for 7.
That's huge. When you've got a player that's a Big Ten Player of the Year having an 0 for 7 game, really distracting.
Speaking of huge, that would have been. Augustine comes in.
I don't think that was a good shot to take. Go down inside against Wilkinson, let Morley take advantage of the matchup. Head's the guy that looks like he wants to take some shots.
Eight-second shot clock. Back out to Brown.
Brown's got to keep it. Here he goes. Let's see if he can score. Nope.
Paving up. Looper head outside over Wilkinson. Tipped out back to Wilkinson, and the Badgers again can cut into that 5-point deficit.
Jim, that was not a good sign for Illinois. Brown is the kind of guy, when he's got the ball out there, has got to make a play, not give it up, put one of his teammates at a disadvantage with the clock working against him.
Under 2 minutes. It's turned into a tight one here at the Big Ten Tournament Final.
That was the right place to go with the ball.
Wilkinson.
Inside.
Cleared quickly. Augustine out to Brown. Here we go. And a reach-around foul on Taylor.
I'll tell you another thing I noticed. Illinois did not get down in that break. Williams was slow. Ed was slow. Powell was dragging a little bit.
Here's the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. And you look at Wisconsin from 2, just barely over 20%. 7 out of 17 from 3. And a reminder that you can get your complete game stats at CBSSportsline.com. That's just the 6th team foul on Wisconsin. So no 1-on-1. Next one will be.
Tell you, showing some signs of being tired is Illinois right now, Jim. That kind of surprised me. Normally they get out on the break and just fly. Head's the only one that looks like he's really got full quickness. Brown has the quickness, but he doesn't want the shot.
Illini in this Wisconsin comeback has missed now 10 of its last 11.
And trying to use some clock.
1:30 to go.
Got a 2-possession game right here, so when it gets down, they probably want to make sure that ball's in Williams' hands to make a play, because Brown didn't make the play the last time he had it.
Williams with 7. Hanson defending. Kicks it out. Brown, can he get one?
Wow, 0 for 8. And really upset with himself.
Wisconsin's had some chances to cut into that 5-point deficit. Tucker unable to make it from 3. And over the back, Wilkinson. We've got an update. We're going to send you back to the studio. And Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim and Billy, the Big 12 championship is now final. Texas Tech within 3 here, under 10 seconds to play. Ronald Ross's three-pointer is off the mark. John Lucas adds a free throw. Oklahoma State, the winner, 72-68. Back to you.
Thank you, Greg. Oklahoma State, there's your team. Bill, you say is one of the 4 best, maybe not a top seed on that one line, but a win to take the Big 12.
Well, of the teams I've seen this year, they are certainly one of the best 4 teams in the country.
Oh, look at
was that
one.
big.
Go in on a 1-on-1 for Powell.
You know, another thing interesting, I saw Brown walking up the floor, Jim, 0 for 8 on the day. He took that mouthpiece out again, threw it up in the air in total disgust. He is really down on himself right now. Not something you want going in the NCAA tournament. One of your premier players.
Timeout called by Illinois. Powell hits 2 big free throws. Powell has 11 rebounds, tying a career high. Back up to 7 with 1 minute left. 50 to...
Well, one of the things they will have to do, and it may be something that they need to think about now, starting to substitute offense and defense. When they go on defense, they're going to have to get 3 guards out there because Illinois will surround them on the perimeter with Head, Williams, and Brown. And I don't think that Tucker's got enough left in the tank to go out and press.
Well, Wisconsin's had its chances. They've missed their last 5 from the field when they were down by 5. And a turnover. And the arrow to Illinois. It's D. Brown on the floor.
Now, if you're Bo Ryan right now, you ought to substitute a guard in there defensively so that you can have some pressure. He's going to have Tucker guarding Head. And Hansen will be on Williams. So, you know, Head is a little bit too quick right now, as tired as Tucker is.
Timeout called by Williams. 48 seconds remaining with Illinois trying to go into the NCAAs with the Big Ten title. Wisconsin with 3 timeouts. Illinois with a pair. Illinois to inbound, has to go length of the court, but leading by 7. Wisconsin has gone over 4 minutes without making a shot after taking a 16-point deficit and cutting it to 5.
And here we see that change in the lineup, trying to get a little bit more quickness on the floor.
Over to Luther Head.
Augustine steps back. They're trying to foul now. And couldn't even get the foul. There they go. They're trying to foul Augustine.
Morley sends Augustine to the line. This Illinois team residing at #1 in the rankings 14 weeks. And what's surprising, you look at the history of the program at Illinois, they had only 2 previous years where they at one time held a #1 ranking, and those rankings lasted for only 1 week.
1 week.
1 week back in 1952. And then again, they had the #1 ranking in 1984 for a week. But this year, 14 weeks. And the #1 ranking, you would figure, going into the NCAA tournament as well. So 2 free throws by Augustine.
That 52 team actually played in the first Final Four that being held in Seattle that there ever was. There were national championships, but there were never 4 teams to the same site until 52.
Celebration starting to break out here in Chicago. Executive producer of CBS Sports is Tony Petitti, and the coordinating producer of NCAA basketball on CBS is Bob Dekas. Today's game directed by Bob Fishman. At the half, produced by the senior producer of CBS Sports, Eric Mann, and directed by Bob Matina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Harold Bryant. The associate directors of today's game, Steve Karasek, Jonathan Siegel, and the broadcast associates, Josh Hall and Steve Murphy. Technical manager Rick Godwin, technical director Scott Sickler, and audio supervisor Jack Stucker. Thanks to Pat the Rat McGrath as well here in Chicago.
Well, Powell got some nice rolls on those free throws.
Morley, and Illinois closes it out by dominating the last minute. We'll have another Big Ten tournament title. It'll be the second one. An 11-point win for the Illini. 3 for 3 on the year over the Badgers. By 10, by 11, and by 11. There you go. Illinois takes the Big Ten.
And Jim, I think that Luther Head will be the MVP of the tourney. What do you think?
I have to agree. The consistency, his numbers almost identical in all 3 games.
Yep.
Today, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. But we'll give Roger Powell, got to think, an all-tournament consideration with his double-double today, 15 and 12. Chevrolet with a $1,000 donation to each school's general scholarship fund. For Billy Packer, this is Jim Nantz saying so long from the United Center, where our final score is Illinois 54 and Wisconsin 43. Coming up next, the road to the Final Four. We'll see you on the Selection Show. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA basketball championship.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Road to the Final Four. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis of Sports Illustrated. The Big Ten championship belongs to the Fighting Illini of Illinois. 54-43, Illinois wins it over Wisconsin. Let's get back out to Chicago, rejoin Jim Nantz and Billy Packer. Jim.
All right, thank you, Greg. I'm here indeed with the Big Ten tournament champs. Congratulations to Illinois. And I tell you, it's the way you wanted to finish the season, obviously, with what has been a great season. Tell me about this game today, Coach.
Well, it's always hard-fought games. Wisconsin's got a good ball club. Bo does a great job, and you know they got us last year, two against one. They won 2, we won 1. This year we got them 3-0, and we played great defense. We talked about clicking it in the defensive end in March. I think we did that, and we just couldn't get some shots done. I know Billy said he thought it was over. I thought it was over too, but we couldn't make some shots to finish some free throws. But we did win it, and you know, we just keep adding to that ring. Big Ten champs. Now we got tournament champs, and we got another one we want to put on there.
It's an amazing thing to see how there's someone who can step up in every game, whether it's Darren or Roger or, you know, D, on and on. James had a great tournament. Tell me about this team going into the NCAAs now.
Well, I think that's the best thing. If you focus on one guy, somebody else is going to make plays. Even our bench has been great all year. Jack, Nick coming off the bench. Rich McBride finally hit a shot. It took about 2 months, but he got one down.
Hey, wait a minute.
Say something about that. And then you got
and
Luther
Warren's
over
been
here.
good. Luther's been, you know, they all been good. And obviously the guards are the guys that make us go. And what we guard, people, you know, we guard well. We run good motion. If we make some shots, we're really a good team.
Coach, it's been a wrenching weekend for you. Everyone knows how much is this group right here meant to you this weekend in the last 48 hours.
They're special guys, and you know, our staff does a great job all year. And you know, when we have distractions like that, we know somebody's going to pick up, whether it's somebody gets hurt, sick, or something like what happened, a tragedy that happened with me. So we have a great staff, great group of guys. They have great chemistry, and we think we have what can, you know, make the long run. And obviously, there's a long way to go, and we got to take it one game at a time.
Billy, you've been singing Luther's praise, praising him all week.
Well, I don't know what they're going to vote for, Luther. I voted you for the tournament MVP, so I hope it comes through for you. You played 3 outstanding games, very solid in everything that you did. It looked like you wanted the ball at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think all our players want the ball at the end. I mean, it's just who it goes to. We try to step up and make some shots.
Hey, D, come on up here a second. Now, here's a man that played outstanding ball for you all year long. Certainly one of the great guards in the country. I want to tell you something. Those shots will fall. I saw you take that mouthpiece out one time, throw it in the air and say, hey, when's one going to drop here for me? But I know they're going to fall for you. What do you feel like?
I'm just happy that my teammates were able to make plays and just carry us through this game. You know what I mean? I just try to, when my shot's not falling, just try to play defense and get the hustle plays going for me.
Well, that's what you did. He was really working hard out there on the floor. You're too good a player to worry about those shots not going. Good luck to you guys this year. You can go all the way. There's no question about it. Just keep playing hard.
Darren, good luck to you and the rest of this bunch. Roger and the NCAAs. Guys, you ready? Get on that road to the Final Four?
We're ready. Hopefully we're in Chicago region.
Great game, Roger. Way to play.
We'll have all that for you in about a half an hour, all right? Congratulations to the Illini, Coach Weber. And the road to the Final Four continues on CBS in a moment.
Once again, the committee has made an effort to keep as many teams as possible close to home for their first and second round games. As was the case last year, the committee has ranked the 4 #1 teams to set up a potential Final Four where if the teams win out, the overall #1 seed would play the 4th #1 seed in one national semifinal and the 2nd and 3rd #1 seeds potentially matching up in the other. With that in mind, we begin with a look at this year's #1 seeds. The top overall seed is Illinois, which will play in the Chicago Regional. Fighting Illini off their Big Ten championship. and the top #1 seed overall. The second #1 seed is North Carolina, which will play in the Syracuse Regional. And as Illinois has all season long, the Tar Heels have made a strong case for being a top seed in the NCAA tournament. The third #1 seed is Duke, which will play in the Austin Regional. The Blue Devils, coming off the ACC Tournament Championship, their 6th in 7 years. And there were some questions, but not in the minds of the Blue Devils. The fourth #1 seed is Washington, which will play in the Albuquerque Regional. And the Washington Huskies, an outside shot in the minds of many, they are celebrating like wildfire at the University of Washington over a hard-fought and, in the minds of some, a very well-deserved #1 seeding. The Washington Huskies are a #1 seed in the upcoming NCAA tournament. Now, here's how the brackets shape up, based upon where the 4 #1 seeds have been assigned. The winner's
tournament is what matters.
And perhaps the toughness of the ACC may have carried Duke to that #1 seed.
How about Illinois' situation as the #1 overall in the tournament?
I don't think there's any debate there. I mean, they've been the best team all year long. They've been the most consistent of the top teams all year long, and I think they deserve exactly what they've gotten there.
Interesting that Oklahoma State didn't get to the 1 line, even though they won the Big 12. I'd wonder if that result happened too late for the committee to integrate into their decision.
All right, guys, let's bring in Jim Nantz and Billy Packer, who join us from Chicago, where they just called the Big Ten championship game. Jim.